Hi Kopites, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to talk about FSG and John W. Henry in particular. So the guy that we're going to read you his article, well not all of it but bits of it, is called Simon Hughes. Fantastic journalist with The Athletic. The headline says, "Inside the mind of John W. Henry, Liverpool's semi-detached owner." Now, I wanted to read you this because I find it really interesting, and Simon Hughes is a fantastic journalist, real up-and-comer. Across the sports institutions with which he is most associated with, there was a sense of John W. Henry being everywhere and nowhere last weekend. On Saturday afternoon at Anfield, before Liverpool's victory over Crystal Palace, the stadium was decorated with yellow cards and an image of him sticking his fingers in his ears. It was a protest at a potential 13% rise in ticket prices over the next 3 years, depending on inflation. But Henry was not on Merseyside to see it. So this article, sorry, I forgot to tell you before I started, was wrote on the 1st of May. At the same time, that protest was taking place around 3,000 miles away in Boston. Henry and his executives at the Red Sox, the other crown jewel in Fenway Sports Group's sporting empire, were deciding to fire the team's manager, Alex Cora, along with 5 coaches later that day. Henry, the franchise's chief baseball officer, Craig Breslow, and CEO Sam Kennedy flew on Henry's private jet to give Cora and his staff the bad news. But at a press conference the following morning, it was Breslow and Kennedy who confirmed the news to the media, according to The Athletic's reporting. Henry was present when players were told, but said nothing. Henry has not entertained the baseball media at any press conference since 2020, when the Red Sox made the controversial move to trade the team's most exciting player, Mookie Betts. It has left fans annoyed and calling for him to sell up. On Tuesday, The Athletic invited Henry, who tends to conduct interviews with journalists by email, to answer questions about the running of Liverpool and the Red Sox, but he did not engage directly. Liverpool were also invited to comment. 6 separate points were later put to the owner. A representative from FSG responded to one of them about ticket prices and their hopes that inflation will follow a predicted line of 7.3% over the next 3 years rather than 13. The message is unlikely to reassure protesters who feel that the price path threatens to eradicate future discussion about the issue. With Henry's unnecessary silence being felt on both sides of the Atlantic, questions fill the void. Does he really take this criticism to heart? No, I don't think he does. I don't think he really gives a shit. As long as money's coming into his bank, he doesn't care about anybody else. How truly engaged is he with the 2 biggest sports franchises in his FSG portfolio, and what is his long-term vision? The Athletic spoke to those who have dealt with Henry regularly in recent years to glean their impressions of the man, who motivates him and how he reacts under fire. It is coming up to a year since Henry last watched a Liverpool game in the flesh. That occasion was another game against Palace at Anfield, although this one memorably marked the 24-25 Premier League title party. Since then, nothing. Henry is 76, so regular traumatic flights are perhaps more challenging. But throughout FSG's 16-year tenure, the pattern has largely stayed the same, with Henry only visiting Anfield once or twice a season. Via Zoom, he was at the first meeting with Liverpool supporters when new ticket prices were discussed late last year, but none of the leading FSG figures were present at 3 later summits about increases. Requests from fans to speak directly with the owners in more detail have not been granted since. There was a reason fans chose that picture of Henry with his fingers in his ears to display this on Saturday. His lack of engagement means Chief Executive Officer Billy Hogan effectively acts as his representative on Earth. So obviously Billy Hogan was tasked with explaining to fans why ticket prices were rising in an email sent in April to season ticket holders and members, and it was he who was left shifting awkwardly in Anfield's executive seating when a cry of "You greedy bastards, enough is enough" went up in the 13th minute on Saturday. Hogan has left a generally good impression on supporters who have worked with him in the past due to his responsiveness. Senior executive elsewhere in football have formed the view that FSG rate him extremely highly, but it is also very clear he is there to do a job for them. So there you go, guys. Like I say, I'm not going to read you the whole article, but you get the picture, don't you? John Henry is only interested in making money. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about the club. He doesn't even care about his own baseball team where he lives. The man needs to go. He really does. Sell up, John. Take your money, your 6 billion, whatever you want, and ride into the sunset. Sell us to owners that love the football. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's it for this video. Take it easy.